Hi all, so my name is Akhil Menon and I'm going to be reviewing the Malayalam movie Malikkapurram, and my North Indian wife pronounces it as Malikkapurram, which is not the right way of pronouncing it, and I know a lot of people might get confused because Malikkapurram is a very strong Malayalam word with the usage of la, and Puram is again very difficult for a lot of people to pronounce. So it's Malikkapurram, and Malikkapurram is the word that is usually used for female devotees who visit the temple of Sabarimala, which is in Kerala. And this movie is a very simple but a very powerful and divine experience for the people actually experiencing it. I wouldn't even say witnessing it or viewing it. It's an experience, I would say. And it's the story is, like I mentioned, very simple, but it's also currently being deemed as the Kantara of Malayalam cinema, and for the right reasons, right? Which we'll get into in the later part. But the movie focuses predominantly on the main character, who is an 8-year-old girl who has this unshakable belief in Lord Ayyappa, and she wants to visit Sabarimala. And the movie is about her adventurous yet intriguing journey to the abode of Lord Ayyappa, that is Sabarimala, which is located in the Sabarimala Hills in the Periyar Tiger Reserve, which is located in Kerala. And accompanying this innocent girl is her daring and funny bodyguard, who's curiously only 8 years old, her classmate, Piyush Unni. So both these child characters embark on this very adventurous and intriguing journey all by themselves because she needs to go to Sabarimala at whatever cost. And this other character of Piyush Unni, which is the 8-year-old boy, he basically carries the weight of this big movie, and all the humorous elements are handled by his small shoulders with utmost confidence, which is highly commendable performance by the child artists, both of them. And now coming to the main lead character, who is actually marketing and with whose name this movie is currently being promoted, who's Unni Mukundan. He has created a place for himself in Malayalam film industry by taking the unconventional path a lot of his counterparts are actually shying away from. And that is to bring back the family audiences in tempo travelers, in tourist buses, back to these theater experiences like we used to witness in the 1990s in Kerala. Now, this movie truly establishes the fact that the good old storytelling that we used to see in Malayalam films, the family oriented subjects, the movies that you could go with your dad, mom, sister, brother, your siblings, and your grandparents also is back. And that kind of genre of movies still have a market, which is not something that Malayalam film industry has been exploring a lot in the last few years. I wouldn't say they haven't been. A lot of really good scripts have come. Even, for example, Drishyam 2, which was, I think, one of the only, savers for Bollywood last year, was also a Malayalam script, which came a couple of years back. And that was also, again, a good family movie, but off late there has been a shortage or dearth of good family oriented subjects in Malayalam, or entertaining subjects as we would call it. But still, Malayalam film industry is considered one of the best in the Indian scene because of its ability to churn out really strong scripts on low budgets with a lot of intensity. And again, like I mentioned, a lot of the Bollywood movies have been remade from these Malayalam movies. And the only other problem that a lot of people have been complaining about the Malayalam film industry, that it's been promoting, chronic alcoholism, beef, and males' ego-centered fights and feminism. Now, the point is that there are no problems with these topics, right? I don't have any personal issue with these topics because, having been in the social media scene for a long time, I know that a lot of people will take it out of context and be like, what's wrong with feminism? What's wrong with male ego-centered physical fight-based movies? What's wrong with eating beef, and what's wrong with chronic alcoholism? My point is, I have no problems with all of this if that's your life choice, but in a progressive society that is very proud about its literacy, we also need to understand that there needs to be a space for movies that don't just advocate this, right? There should also be a space for people who practice vegetarianism, who are vegans, who are into spirituality, who are teetotalers, who lead a very sober life. So there should be a space in the film industry, if it is as progressive and as literate and educated as you are proud about it being. It should also have a space for these kind of movies, and that's what beautifully Malikkapurram has done this year for Malayalam film industry. It has established the fact that good old movies will get family audiences back into the theater, and it's doing a huge collection right now at this point as I make this video. And there are conversations about this movie being dubbed into Telugu, and the movie releasing on 20th of Jan, and the distribution rights have been backed by none other than Allu Arjun with his Geeta Arts. Apart from that great news, I also hear there are talks for this movie to release in the Hindi language, which I am not currently sure of. If anybody is sure about it, please comment on this video and let us know what is the release date in Hindi. And it looks like it will compete with the Shah Rukh Khan starrer Pathan if the talks are to be believed, right? And as much as this is a family movie, which I cannot emphasize which it is, because I saw women and children and even young adults like staying in their seats until the credit scene finishes rolling out of the screen with the lullaby Harivarasanam, which is basically played in Sabarimala to put Lord Ayappa to sleep. It's a very rare scene that you see people sitting in their seats glued to it until the entire credit scene has been completed, especially for Indian movies, because there's no sort of post credit like surprise like you see in MCU or like DC movies. Now, having said that, this movie will also appeal to the mass scene loving Tamil and Telugu audience as well, who contribute to the largest number of tourists in Kerala during the Sabarimala season, because a lot of these devotees come from across different South Indian states to Sabarimala, and I'm sure they will love it like they loved RRR. The climax scene kind of resembles RRR. And like I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, this is deemed as the Kantara of the Malayalam film industry, and not only can it be a game changer for the Malayalam film industry, but also for the Indian film industry in the coming days. We have to wait and watch. Like you saw how Kantara released and then it just built into that super duper hit it was across the nation. I feel this movie has potential because of its simplicity and how rooted and how it kind of makes you value the cultural wealth that India as a nation has. And that is something we've been whining and bitching and crying about Bollywood movies, sticking to the same old formulas, the same old scripts that you've been seeing for the last 20, 30 years. And there's no sort of effort being put there to, kind of come up with really interesting scripts or, introduce new characters from across the country, or at least go deeper, do a deep dive into the Indian culture, which is even way more richer out there in the north of India, the west of India, the east of India, which now South Indian cinema has been hitting the nail on its head with a lot of these culturally rooted, very, very, relevant Indian themed movies that are doing really well in today's age, right? So go and give it a shot when this movie releases in your language. If not, it's playing in Malayalam with English subtitles. Give it a shot. I'm sure you will not regret it.